Welcome, everyone. Welcome to World of EdTech Wednesday. Today's session is 27 free AI tools for educators. My name is Maribel Martinez. I am your secondary integration technology specialist. In today's agenda, before we go through the agenda, let me give you a few reminders. We do have the PD session in the chat if you still need to register. Please remember to keep your mic muted. Use the remote check-in PSJ Tech if you haven't done that yet. Okay, drop any questions in the chat whenever you feel like you have a question. Okay, and in today's agenda, we'll go through some AI tools, Gemini tools, that help you reduce guesswork and support you in your everyday teaching tasks. We'll also identify tools to try immediately with lessons and TEKS alignment or instructional planning. You'll learn about those tools here today. Okay, and these, as of today, just today, yesterday, we had 27 tools, and when I logged in this morning to Gemini, there is 28 now. Okay, so 14 of those tools are template tools, which provide us with some basic questions to answer. They're already pre-made, so you don't have to worry about creating a prompt. And then the other 14 Gemini prompt tools are also pre-made prompts that will take you through a series of questions. And both of those type of tools work differently, and we'll go through some of them today. So they are not 27, they're actually 28, okay? So you don't need, like I said, you don't need the perfect prompt. Sometimes we think that AI only works if we have the perfect prompt and that we have to be experts knowing how to produce or engineer that perfect prompt. But today you'll see how these 28 built-in Gemini tools do all the heavy lifting and no prompt engineering required. Okay, so, and where do those Gemini tools live? They are within Google Classroom. So if you have access to Google Classroom, even if you don't use Google Classroom, but you have access to that page, you are able to use those Gemini tools. They are designed to help with planning, instructional materials. You can create assessments to support your students and other administrative tasks. Okay, so we'll dive into that here today. So you're going to want to start by going through my application portal. I like to go through here to make sure that I do that single sign-on. And within the my applications portal, you'll find the Google Classroom. And here on the left-hand side, we have the icon for Gemini. Am I sharing my screen? Yes, I am. Okay. I'm doubting myself here. Okay, so this is where the 28 tools are located, okay? The first 14 have a colorful icon right in front of each one. We have 14 here. It starts with outline a lesson all the way to translate text. And these tools are only for teachers. The rest of them, the other 14 are down here at the bottom. These used to have a star right next to them, but now it just has this little arrow here that'll take you straight to the prompting where you have a back and forth conversation with the Gemini to create the content that you need. Okay, so let's start with outline a lesson plan. We're going to start with that one today. Well, you know what? Let's start with generate a quiz because it's the easier one for me. So we're going to generate a quiz. Is everybody there? Does anybody have any questions on how to get here? Okay, so if we are okay to start, like I said, we are on the Gemini AI tools. We're going to generate a quiz. And let's say that you're always, for these type of templates, you're always going to have questions like what grade level you're working with, how many types of questions, and the topic. Usually for these 14 templates, it'll just have a series of boxes and you just fill them in. Okay, so I'm gonna use 11th grade, 5 questions, and I'm going to go with social studies. Okay, so I'm going to say the Gilded Age, and then generate the questions. Then it'll give you some suggested learning objectives. If this is your topic and you are sure that this is what you want to cover with your students, it'll just give you some suggestive learning objectives. If you don't need these, you may take some off, you may add some on. And over here at the bottom, you have multiple choice, true or false, short answer. I'm going to say for these, I'm going to create a multiple choice and then generate the questions. Okay, and as you can see here, you have 5 questions, multiple choice answers, and it gives you the answers as well. What I like about this is that you can already, it lives within Google Classroom, so you can already export it to a class from here. So if you have your Google Classrooms, it'll give you the list of your Google Classrooms to see which one you want to assign it to. And then you can even put it under a topic like an assignment, a quiz assignment, question material, whichever one it is that you want to add it to. If not, you can also export it straight to Google Forms. And it takes a little bit. So from here, it does the same. You know, with AI, make sure you vet every question, and this is what you need. And if it's good to go, then you're ready to transfer it over to your Google Classroom. Okay, any questions on this? Okay, make sure that you publish everything, that you export everything from this point, because it will not save it. If you get out of here and you go back to, you won't be able to save it from here. Okay. So now I'm going to go to outline a lesson plan. Okay, like again, this type of template has several boxes that you need to fill out. And I'm going to say for this one, I'm going to say 10th grade. And if it's a lesson plan, we want to make sure that we're following the 5E model. For this tool, you get a general outline of a lesson plan or the 5E. And I just like to go with the 5E because that is what we use in our district. Our curriculum is based on the 5E model. So I'm going to go ahead and put that. And then describe a topic and standard you want to teach and the knowledge or skill you want to demonstrate. I already have a pre-made prompt just for the purpose of, not being really confused here while I'm doing the presentation, but I'm going to go ahead and put this one in. I'm going to use a biology one. Let me show you what I'm going to copy and paste here. Okay. I'm telling it that this is what I need. The TEKS is 6C for biology, and that's the topic that I want to cover. This is the actual TEKS. So I just want a lesson plan on this TEKS, and I gave a description of the TEKS. That's all I need. I don't need a prompt. I don't need anything else. Okay. So then I'm going to generate some learning objectives. And these look good to me. So if this is what I'm going to be teaching for this lesson, I'm okay with that. Okay, and then it's very important here. The next thing that I want to make sure that I do for this class, since I know that I'm using this with a class where I have emergent bilinguals, I have a diverse class of students with special ed population students. Also going to make a note of it there. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste. And just for the purpose, making sure that I have the right terminology in there as far as what my class looks like. I integrated or I input, I teach a diverse classroom that includes emergent bilinguals, students receiving special education services, and students at varying reading levels, include sentence stems, key vocabulary with simple definitions, and chunked steps. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay, so from here, I'm going to generate my lesson plan. So if you're creating resources for tutoring on a Saturday, and if you already have exhausted all your materials that you have in the curriculum, this is a good resource to have just to produce some lessons. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I vet the lesson, that this is what I need. And you may take out, what I like about this breakdown as well is it has the common misconceptions. And as you can see, it has the engage, 10 minutes. It gives you a little lesson there, a little short description of what to do during that lesson. Explore, 20 minutes, the explain part, the extend, and then the evaluate. Okay. And you also have more questions here. Maybe you want to add more to it. Maybe you want to take out some stuff. So these are some more options that you have here once, if you feel like you still need more. Okay, you're going to export it to docs because remember, it doesn't save. So automatically this saves to your Google Drive. Okay, any questions? I think we're good to go. All right. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to show you, let me see. I got out of there, but I can always go back. Like I told you, as of yesterday, there was only 27. Today, there was 28. And the new one that they included in there was this create an audio lesson. Okay, this one is really neat. Let's say you have the writing process that you're working on and you want to record a little video. You do have to upload some files. Let me show you how to do that. I'm going to click on create an audio lesson. And I'm going to say 9th grade. And the topic that I want to do is the ACE strategy. And annotation. Okay. Well, students will be able to apply the ACE strategy, answer, cite, explain to construct a clear, short constructed response. So it'll create an audio lesson. This is brand new. I just tried it this morning. I thought I could attach a file so that it could read it a little bit better. And hopefully you can hear my sound right now when I play it. So it's a teacher and a student having a conversation about how the ACE strategy works. And it's generating that audio lesson. It says here, keep the tab open. It might take a while, so hopefully it doesn't take that long. In the morning when I tried this, it was an 8-minute video. So depending on how long that is, I guess that's the amount of time it will take. Are there any questions so far? Okay, so it's actually a 10-minute conversation between a teacher and a student. I'm going to go ahead and play it. Hopefully you can hear the sound. Miss Debbie, you can let me know if you can hear the sound.
Hello. Today we're going to talk about two powerful tools that will transform how you read and write in school. Annotation and the ACE strategy. Annotation is all about moving beyond just reading the words and actively engaging with the text, while the ACE strategy helps you structure strong, evidence-based responses.
That sounds really useful. I always feel like I'm just reading without really processing everything. So what exactly is annotation?
That's a very common feeling, but annotation is the solution. Think of it as having a conversation with the text right on the page. It's more than just highlighting. It's an active learning technique where your brain works harder to process and store information.
So I'm going to go ahead and stop right there. And from here, you can export it to your drive. or if you want this to be part of a Google slide deck that you already have or that you're presenting to your students, you can export it to slides, okay? So I'm going to export it to my drive, and you'll find it in your Google Drive, okay? That's where it automatically saves to. All right, and again, it can be any topic that you're doing in class. You can do this audio lesson for that. Okay, going back to my AI tools, like I said, the ones with the colorful icons, those are pre-made templates that have the boxes and you just fill in the boxes. And the ones that are down here are 14 more tools that behave a little bit different. These are actual prompts. Let me show you this one. I'm going to do brainstorm a science lab experiment. As you can see here, this is an actual prompt. It's one that has already been created, and this one says you're an experienced science teacher and master curriculum creator that uses an inquiry and you know, it has all the guides, what it's supposed to do. Now it just wants to know what kind of lesson you want to do. I want to say, since I'm not a science person, I did, just for the purpose of today, because I'm not a science teacher, I went ahead and took notes about how to create a science lab experiment with my students, okay? And I'm telling it, my primary goal is to create a hands-on inquiry-based lab for my fifth graders. I want them to experimentally discover the relationship between vibrations and sounds. Specifically, I want them to understand that sound is produced by vibrating objects, that the pitch of the sound is related to how fast an object vibrates, directly aligning to our, and I'm going to put here Texas. Shouldn't say science, okay? Texas Science TEKS standard, okay? It should be engaging, maybe a little noisy, and definitely memorable. Okay, and then it'll start having that conversation with you back and forth as to what it is that you really need for your class. What kind of resources do you have available? I'm going to say I have a pretty well-stocked, let me see, closet with materials. So I don't need anything at all. I have everything that I need for this actual lab. How much time? It should be 50 minutes with a 10-minute hook and a 5-minute exit ticket. Okay. So again, you start having that conversation back and forth, and it creates that lesson. If it's still needing more information from you to create that perfect lesson, then it's going to keep on asking questions. How independent are your students? I'm going to say that I will be facilitating during class. Okay, anything else I should know to tailor this lab to your class or teaching style? I'm going to keep it like that just for the purpose of time. I'm going to say everything is okay. And then it'll start producing that lesson, the Shaking Symphony, 5th grade. It gave me the TEKS, materials needed. As you can see, it has a hook. It even has station A, what they're going to be doing at each station for like station rotation, an exit ticket. I should have, at the very end, I could have even said, produce like a guided worksheet where students are writing down the information as they're going through each station. I could even create that. Okay, so again, the 14 tools at the bottom are that actual prompt where you have the conversation back and forth with a tool. And then the 14 up here are more of a template where you just fill in the boxes. Any questions? Okay, and let me see, I think I have time for one more. I'm going to go ahead and do the create DOK questions on a topic. You are an expert content creator who has specific training on DOK. Oh, I want DOK level 3 questions for the story everyday use by Alice Walker. Okay, I want to be able to, I want my students to interact with the text with a series of level DOK 3 questions as they're reading the text. It's probably going to need more information from me, so be prepared for those questions to get exactly what you need. What grade level? I forgot to mention that, so I'm going to say 10th grade students. How many questions would you like for this set? Are we focusing strictly? Yes. So yes, level 3 DOK only, and no, I just want level 3. Right? We want high rigor, so I'm going to keep it at level 3. I want to say a question, one question for every third paragraph. So it's working on that. It's producing those DOK questions. It still wants the story. Okay, well, that is the idea, right? I don't have the story with me, but in any case, all you would have to do is here on the plus sign, you will upload the story and then it'll guide you from there. Okay, so that's how you create DOK questions for a story, any story that you are covering in class. All right, so any questions? That concludes our presentation on the Gemini tools here. We have 27 tools that you learned, 28 tools that you learned about today. If you have any questions at any time, just let me know, give us a call. We'll be here to help you. And Miss Debbie is going to go ahead. We do have some door prizes. Please stick around because Miss Debbie Pingle will go ahead and